How's it going, everyone? This is the review show where we do reviews just to do reviews. This time, we're doing a review on Shazam. Shazam?
Shazam.
I'm your host, Jared, and I'm here with Christian.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Let's do it.
All right, Christian, why don't you start things off for us?
All right. Well, let's just get things going just in case people don't want to dive in too deep. Don't know why. But did you like the movie?
Oh, I like the movie. Like, I would recommend this to family and friends, not strangers. Don't expect me to come to you on the street and just be like, yo, you should go watch this movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't up to my standards, though.
His standards are ridiculous. I'd recommend it to everybody. I'd go to that hobo if he had $10. I'd tell him to go to the movies and watch Shazam.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I changed my mind. Maybe that hobo needs a good laugh. This movie was very funny. It was a great, enjoyable movie. It was a family movie. I loved it. I do love it.
That is why I would say it is Tom Hanks' Big. Have you ever seen it? Probably not, but this is me asking.
No.
All right. Well, it's pretty much the same case. He's a kid who gets to be an adult out of nowhere. I can't remember
Does he have
how.
superpowers too, or
No.
okay?
No. He got it because of a fucking this machine. It was this machine that made him an adult. It was some weird shit, but it was a funny ass movie. Mixed with Superman, mixed with Ant-Man. Now, you may ask, well, this guy hasn't seen Ant-Man 1, but he's seen Ant-Man 2. He's a weird fella. I would say I'd compare it to Superman because it had that lighthearted, obviously he has similar powers to Superman feel to it, but then it's like Ant-Man because Ant-Man is a guy who never thought he'd be a superhero, who never really asked to be a superhero, but became a superhero in the end. And he was a dick throughout the movie, but then by the end, he actually became a superhero. Just like this movie. That's why I think it's very similar to Ant-Man.
I can agree with that. You know what? I agree
Can
with
you?
that.
But you haven't seen it.
I can agree with it.
You agree with what I just said?
I agree with what you say.
All right. Well, let's start off with the standout characters. There's a lot for me. I'm going to just specifically shout out these people, and then I'm just going to start off by saying everybody is good, I think. But the specific people I think I need to shout out. Zachary Levi as Shazam. Asher Angel as young Billy. Kind of Shazam. I don't know. But he's Billy. Then Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddy, the best friend. Grace Fulton as Mary, the adult. I mean, she's practically an adult sister. She's like 18. And then his name is, I want to say Ian. Is that Ian?
The guy from...
Well, read that. Ian Chan?
Ian.
That's what I thought, Ian. Okay. Well, Ian Chen. Ian Chen, shout out to you. He's I love him from Fresh Off the Boat. Have you started watching Fresh Off the Boat yet?
Nope.
You should definitely get on that.
I probably should.
But he was Eugene. And then my last extra shout out is to Faiths Harmon. That's a weird first name, but shout out to you anyways, Faiths. She plays Darla, the youngest sister. We'll get into some stuff about that later in our spoiler review. Somebody over here has something to say about Darla.
I have a lot to say.
But those are my shout out. The parents were good, but you know there wasn't enough of them for me to like give them a specific shout out. And then the other kid was good too, but I thought I was about to get into some spoilers. I thought he was good, yes, but he didn't talk a lot. So I'm talking about the fat kid that liked to work out.
What's his name? Victor? Was his name Victor?
No, it was a Hispanic name. It was
Victor. It was Victor.
It was not Victor at all. Right here, I'm gonna put the actual name. I think if I had to guess, it started with a P. So if I'm right, also put that I'm right. Because I'm pretty sure it starts with a P. But I don't think it was Pablo. Pedro. I think it was Pedro. Pedro is what it was. Right here is where I'm right. Or I look like a clown right now for being wrong. So what were your standout characters?
I only had 3, really. It was definitely Zachary Levi. Did a fantastic job of just acting. His performance, spot on for being an adult.
As a kid.
Or a kid as
or
an
a kid
adult.
as an adult,
A kid
yeah.
as an adult. Yes.
Yeah, that was Bible.
Freddy, his sort of mentor role,
Yeah.
I loved it. He did a great job. Also,
And he was hilarious.
No, I can't say it. I don't want to spoil it. So I'll leave it for the next one. I do think he should have died. Freddy definitely should have died, though. I'll tell you the point.
I mean, I guess that's a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler if Freddy doesn't die. I mean, it's a fucking comic book movie. No, they're not going to kill a goddamn kid. But continue.
Ah man, I really want to say. I'll leave it for the spoilers.
You will leave it for the spoilers.
And then Dr.Sivana, Mark Strong, he did a great job. I liked his motives as a villain. He also had some good punchlines.
He did have some good.
I liked
You didn't like Young Billy?
Nah, he was alright. He was just
Really?
alright. He wasn't stand out for me. He was just
Really?
alright. He did a good job though.
Yeah,
he just wasn't stand out for me.
Yeah, I thought he was good. All right, so real quick, we'll talk about things that we like. I mean, it'll be extra quick for you. So why don't you go first on that?
All right, so there could have been a plot hole in the beginning of the movie, but I like that they filled that in.
They did.
Where they gave you the information necessary to just connect the dots.
Yes.
That was good directing. I liked it. A+. And again, I just really liked the performance of all the characters that I said for the standout characters.
Okay, standout characters, especially Shazam. I mean, that's what you need. You need your main character to stand out. So it's.
I think your main character and your antagonist and your protagonist. Yes, any of these.
Yes, I mean, but antagonist, I feel like makes the movie great. So like the movie can be really good if you just have a really good protagonist with bad antagonist. Like I think of that like Wonder Woman. I don't love Wonder Woman bad guy, but Wonder Woman is an amazing movie. Most people agree that it's an amazing movie because she was so good and her partner was so good and the movie as a whole was good, but the bad guy wasn't great. So that's why it stops it from being like one of the greatest comic book movies.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think Bad Guys takes it to that. Like Infinity War, for example.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so things that I liked was obviously the family. This movie comes down to family. It made me come home and tell my family that I love them. Here's a little information. I don't do that. I don't say love at all, really. Like, I am very loveless. I don't say love to people. So it was weird saying it, but this movie made me do it because it's a very lovable family, and the family loves each other, and it was beautiful. Funny as fuck, I gotta say. Super, super funny. I'd put it up there with, like, Ant-Man when it comes to comic book funny movies. Because I think Ant-Man might be my number one movie when it comes to comedy. Guardians is close. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that's, like, my 3 funniest comic book movies. When the action finally happens, so that third act, I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good action. Especially what they do later in it. And obviously I think it has an amazing twist. This is where we're trying not to get too into it because he has some negatives with the twist. I have some crazy, crazy positives about the twist. And then, yeah, I agree. Dr.Sivana was good. I liked him. He was solid. He could have been better, but I will say he had one of the best origins of a bad guy. I could argue the best out of all comic book movies.
Yeah. Because
we never really got an origin for like somebody like Thanos. I would say actually the only person I might put ahead of him, you probably disagree because you didn't like him in the movie for some reason, but Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. He probably had a better one. Better origin story.
I'll agree with that. I do.
Oh, okay.
I do like his
shocked. Okay.
Origin story, yeah.
All right, so let's go to things that we didn't like. I guess I'll start this off because mine's is short. The action. Either, so. Well, it should have been long. Well, we can't talk about spoilers.
It will be long.
Don't worry. Watch out for the next video for the spoiler one.
Yes.
Yeah, I say the action, there just wasn't as much, but I understood it because it is an origin story. They took their time with him becoming a hero, and even until the end, he never really learns how to really be a superhero, so I understand why they didn't have a shit ton of action. I just think I would have tweaked some things at the end of the movie, like how certain people were beaten and shit like that, but the action was a positive and a negative in this movie, I think. And then my only other one is, I mean, this is not a spoiler because they technically already said it. There's no Black Adam, no Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, not even in the end credits. So if you're going to wait for the end credits to see The Rock, don't bother. But there are 2 end credit scenes. The first one was good. The second one reminded me of Captain Marvel, where it was unnecessary. I wish they would flop that type of shit, but I feel like they do that for the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Like, they give you the stupid 1 second because it's like, the hardcore fans are going to stay, but the regular people just want to see that one that makes a setup for the sequel.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
But yeah, I was sad that Black Adam wasn't in it. I love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm excited about him being Black Adam. And it just saddened me not to see him. Not even in the end credits, so... yeah, those are my only negatives.
So I definitely agree with you with the negatives. I didn't like the action. I didn't like
It's
it
a
at
little
all.
different from me though. You just didn't like the action as a whole.
Yeah, as a whole, I didn't like it as a whole, really. But it does make sense why it wasn't that great. Because, like you said, it was an origin story. So Shazam is learning how to use his powers. So it's like, yeah, he shouldn't know how. And he's a 14-year-old kid, really. He shouldn't really know how any martial arts or.
According to him, he's basically 15.
Is he 14 or 15?
He's 14, but when Dr.Sivana asked him, he was like, "Oh, I'm basically 15."
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, he thinks he's basically 15. So,
well, there's a spoiler.
It's not really. I think it's in the trailer. I'll put it right here if it's in the trailer. Probably not. It might get striked. I don't know. But yeah.
But yeah, I'm really saving my negatives for our spoiler because I really like to dive into my negatives and give real reasons why I really don't like this movie.
It is hard to say why we like and why we dislike because we can't talk spoilers.
Yes.
Mainly because, not even that we can't, I just don't want to be one of those guys that spoils.
Yeah, true.
And does that shit.
And the movie's not even out yet.
So that's all you got for a non-spoiler type of situation?
For a non-spoiler type of situation, yes.
Okay. All right, and now finally, let's give you a nice score out of 10. We do scores out of 10. I like a score out of 10. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I think it's fantastic. I think we're in the golden era of comic book movies, and this movie proves it. It proves that Wonder Woman and Aquaman were not like flukes. DC's turning that shit around. They're starting to make good content, but they're also starting to make it. People are all anybody wants to say is, oh, now they're copying Marvel and being lighthearted. These characters are lighthearted characters. Wonder Woman's a lighthearted character. Obviously, Shazam's a lighthearted character. He's a 14-year-old kid. And then when you watch Aquaman, yeah, he's lighthearted, but he has his dark moments too. So I think Aquaman was like a balance between dark and light. But yeah, so I give this shit a 9 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic.
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. The really thing holding me back from giving it a 10 out of 10 is the action. The family aspect, the comedy aspect, 10 out of 10. Those two aspects, 10 out of 10. The action, just not up to par.
And he wanted Freddy to die.
And I wanted somebody to die.
Clown. Such a clown.
The poor crippled kid. Yeah.
All right.
Died, but
All
it's
right.
like not even for the reason you think. We gotta talk about it in spoilers. Oh my goodness. Now I can't wait for that.
So I wanted to rank it out of DCEU movies. This guy does not watch a lot of movies.
Don't watch a lot of movies.
There's still a lot of Marvel movies he hasn't seen. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to rank it out of the origin story comic book movies. So my number one favorite comic book movie, it's kind of biased because Batman's my favorite character. So Batman Begins is my favorite. I would put, though, Shazam at number 2. I think it was just head to toe, good origin. It explained a lot, and it was good character development. Wonder Woman 3 is my third. Man of Steel is my fourth. Shout out to Man of Steel. Fuck all y'all that hate it. I don't care. That movie is great. Yes, it could have been more lighthearted. It was a dark movie for a Superman movie. But other than that negative, great movie. And then 5, T'Challa himself. I had to remember his name. Black Panther. So that's my top 5.
Okay. So going on my top 5. Got Batman, number 1. I agree
Begins.
with you. Yes, Batman Begins. It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one. Classic.
It is.
Can't go wrong with that one. Number 3, Iron Man.
Okay.
I think that's also a classic. I'd say.
Sure. It started
Yeah,
what
it
we know
started
now.
things.
Yeah.
4, I have Black Panther. And 5, I have Shazam.
Shazam. He means Shazam.
That
He's
means
just
Shalom.
a clown. He's a very big clown. All right, but did you watch the movie? They did have screenings for normal people like you and me. There was plenty empty. Well, I wouldn't say plenty, but there was empty seats at our. So you could have watched it. Did you see it? If you did, comment down below. Tell us what you thought. Please, no spoilers. And we're gonna hit y'all with that spoiler. We're
As
very
soon as
excited.
It comes out,
We're
April 5th.
very excited for the spoiler.
Yes.
Spoiler one. Maybe April. Yeah, April 5th. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
April
maybe
4th.
April.
2 hours later.
All right, take us home.
Thanks, Christian. Man, you gotta love that guy. Well, if you guys enjoyed that review, make sure you leave a like, hit the bell, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with us, Jibber Jabbers. This was the review show. See you next time.